Hey, good morning. Bicycle Trails Ways Pedestrian Advisory Committees called to order. I have to read this long statement. I'd like to call to order the June 4th, 2020 meeting of the TPA's Bicycle-Trailways Pedestrian Advisory Committee. Please note that pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order number 20-69, TPA Operating Procedures Section 6.2, in TPA Emergency Order number 2020-0. This meeting is being conducted without having a quorum of its members physically present or at any specific location and utilizing communications media technology instead. For today's meeting, we are utilizing the Zoom webinar platform. Committee members, scheduled presenters, and the TPA's committee liaison will be appearing at today's meeting remotely either via webcam or telephone. Members, please note that your microphones are initially set on mute. When you wish to be recognized, please use the raise hand function within the Zoom platform. You should unmute your microphone when you are recognized. Members of the public can join the meeting by installing a free Zoom app and entering the webinar ID and password provided on your agenda. You can also join via web browser at the address provided in the agenda. Finally, you can join by phone using phone number, webinar ID, and password provided on the agenda. Public comments can be submitted online at the website provided in item 1.F on the agenda. Public comments can also be made live through the Zoom webinar platform. When you wish to be recognized, please use the raise hand function within the Zoom platform and then wait to be recognized by the chair and unmuted by the meeting host. Staff, please call the roll so that we can establish a quorum.
Sally Channon, and as a reminder, you do need to unmute yourselves. So I will, oh, I have Sally has her hand raised. Sally, I tried to force it to unmute, but oh, can you try it again? It may be prompting you to allow me to unmute you. Are you there, Sally?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Eric Ferguson?
Here.
Ted Goodenough? I just want to make sure he didn't join as an attendee. Okay. Michael Howe?
Here.
Jean Matthews? Oh, Jean, you'll need to.
Here.
Perfect. Yash Nagal? Yash, are you there?
Hey, I'm
Okay. Fadi Nassar? Hold on, Fadi. Try that again. I had you muted on this and I forgot you have your phone.
here.
Okay. Michael Owens? Craig Pinder?
Here.
Olga Puerto?
Ryan Harding for Olga Preto.
John Roach?
Here.
Brian Ruscher?
Here.
Bob Sabin?
Here.
Joanne Scaria is excused. Stephanie Thoburn?
Garrett Watson here for Stephanie Thoburn.
Larry Wallace?
I'm here, Margie.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Item B, motion to adopt agenda for June 4th, 2020. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move adoption. Second.
So I have a motion by Howe, a second by Owens.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Seeing no discussion, all in favor, please say, how are we doing this? Are we gonna unmute everyone?
Yes, I'm going to unmute all. If you are muted on your cell phones or phones, you'll need to unmute on that line.
So I'll just give everyone a second to unmute.
Yep.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Hi. Hi.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Item D, motion to approve minutes for May 7th, 2020 Transportation Alternatives TA Program, Projects, Presentations, and Ranking Meeting. The minutes have been distributed in your packet. Are there any changes to the minutes?
Chair, I'm sorry, I just want to confirm, is that item D?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that one was item E. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
comments.
sorry, item, okay, I see. Thank you. Actually, I have item 1B is the agenda. Item 1C is the minutes for our regular meeting. Is that not listed on your agenda? I'm sorry about that.
We should be on item C now. So we adopted the agenda for today, and now it's a motion to approve the minutes for May 7th.
For the regular meeting,
Oh,
for the morning
okay.
meeting, and then the afternoon meeting is the second set of minutes.
Okay, that's, yeah, I scrolled down to. Okay, to clarify, we're going to be we had 2 meetings on May 7th. So let me restate it. We're on item C, motion to approve minutes for May 7th, 2020, regular meeting. So are there any changes to the minutes for the May 7th, 2020 regular meeting? If not, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion by Bob, and I believe I had a second by Michael Owens first, before Michael Howell.
Any discussion? Okay. I guess, Mario, we're gonna have everyone on mute on this also?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone on mute, and I'm gonna call the question. So I have, the motion is approve the minutes for May 7th, 2020. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Item D, motion to approve minutes for May 7th, 2020, Transportation Alternatives Program Project Presentations and Ranking Meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? I don't see anyone indicating they want to change the minutes. If not, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
I do.
So I had Fadi, and then Brian, you said at the same time, do you want to be the second?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
The local,
Okay, I don't see any discussion, so the motion is approve the minutes for the May 7th, 2020 Transportation Alternative PA Program Project Presentations and Ranking Meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Item E, comment from the chair. I noticed we have a new member, John Roach from the city of West Palm Beach. If you welcome to our first meeting, and if you want to unmute and say anything or not, I used to work with John when I was at West Palm Beach. Glad to see you're on the committee.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome. Happy to be on the committee. Looking forward to working with everybody. I know some of you from other experiences, and Eric, yes, working at the city here. So yeah, just thank you, and look forward to this opportunity.
Great. I have one other interesting thing with being with pedestrians with push buttons at traffic signals, where the city, we ordered, there's now buttons that are contactless that you don't have to actually touch. So that's something we're going to try a test with, being kind of with COVID, thinking about things like that. You can actually just wave your hand over a button. So that's something we're trying. So I'll let you know how that goes when we install it. Okay, on the item F, BTPAC liaison report. Valerie is going to present the report.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. So the first item on the liaison report is the TPA is doing a travel survey to see whether COVID-19 has impacted people's travel, and if the restrictions, once they start to be lifted, how permanent those impacts, folks expect those impacts to be. It's not a statistically significant survey, but it's just kind of getting a pulse on the community. So we're keeping that open until June 15th. We encourage you all to take it. The website is palmbeachtpa.org/travel-survey. We're also asking our local partners to provide us with their locally funded transportation projects so that we can include them in our transportation improvement program. So this way we can show a bigger picture of all the upcoming transportation projects happening in our county. So if you do have projects, locally funded projects on your roadways, if you coming up, please share them with Jason Price, our TIP coordinator at jprice@palmbeachtpa.org. You can also share your capital improvement plan as well if those projects are listed there. We also just launched an interactive comment map on our website. Alyssa's going to pull that up for us. This is a platform to collect suggestions and concerns for that folks have, and for us to look into those further. The website's palmbeachtpa.org/comment map, and it looks like this. So you go to submit a comment, and then you can. Right now, you can see the comments that other folks have submitted so far and how if they've been liked. But when you click on submit a comment, you can select what the category is, and then provide your information and what your comments are. So it's an effort to collect feedback from everyone. So we encourage you to check it out and let us know what you think. And the last item on our liaison report is just a reminder that our next TPA board meeting is on June 18th, and the information will be made available 1 week before on our website at palmbeachtpa.org/board with more details about how and when that meeting will be held. And that concludes my liaison report.
Staff, are there any public comments on this item?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Do any committee members have any comments or questions on the liaison's report?
Yes. It's more a procedure thing, but is there any way to get a copy or produce a copy of the report, or how do I go? How do I go about that?
So our liaison report is posted to our website following the meeting along with our presentation. So following today's meeting, it'll be posted on palmbeachtpa.org/BTPAC under today's meeting on presentations.
Is there any other committee members have any comments or questions? Okay, I'm going to move to item G. General public comments and public comments on agenda items. Staff, have any general comments been received?
No, but I do have that Ted has his hand raised.
Okay, I see Ted joined us.
Yes. Ted, it may be prompting on your end for you to unmute. I'm not able to unmute you.
Yeah, it looks like he's talking, but he's muted.
No, it's still not unmuted, Ted. I'm sorry. Here, I think I can see if I can change that. He does have to go through a few prompts with his screen reader, so.
Okay.
Oh, there we go, Ted, you're on.
All right. I apparently I was not on the same screen. I'm just wondering if somebody is technology challenged, could they request those documents, excuse me, via phone call? I don't want to say email because then they're not technology challenged, but can you get those without going to the website?
And Ted, those documents being a liaison report?
Yes.
Okay. The staff would have to, are they posted anywhere in the building? Also, or it's just only on the web?
It's only on the website. Normally during the meetings, we do provide a printed copy, but right now, because we're not hosting meetings in person, and also because of COVID-19, we're not doing it as sending anything by mail. But if that's something you're requesting, Ted, I can print it out and provide it by mail.
I personally am not requesting because
Okay.
I'm pretty technology not challenged. But
right. If we
yeah.
do get any requests, we do provide in any format that's requested.
Okay.
And again, in person, we normally have printed copies available at the sign-in table. It's just right now we're not hosting in-person meetings, so it's not
Right.
made available.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and there were no public comments, correct? Yeah.
No public comment.
2 action items. Item A, motion to recommend adoption of the fiscal year 21 to 25 Transportation Improvement Program TIP. Jason Price, TPA TIP Coordinator, will present an item.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Jason.
I'm going to go over this is the final draft of the Transportation Improvement Program. At the end of the presentation, I'll ask for a motion to recommend adoption of the document to the governing board. So the content of the Transportation Improvement Program is all of the projects from FDOT and all of our regional partners. All of it's tracked in this document, and we'll go through some of the programs. Just trying to advance the slide. Okay. So we start the process in July 2019 with the TPA priority list. Once that's approved, we submit that to the DOT, and the DOT develops a work program that we use to draft a draft TIP, and then we bring it forward for a final adoption, and that's where we are today in June. And once this is adopted by our governing board on June 18th, we will begin to operate under this document in the coming months after it's adopted. This is a snapshot of the funding by section in the TIP. So the TIP document itself is broken down to the sections that you see on the left, and that this shows you the amount of funding by source and the number of projects in each. And you can see that SIS capacity is by far the largest, and it has some of the bigger ticket items like Beeline Highway from North Lake Boulevard to Blue Heron, Florida Turnpike right-of-way and construction cost, and large I-95 intersection projects. So the first program I'll go over is the major TPA projects. So it has a 5-year target of $114 million in federal and state funds, but it requires $227 million needed to construct all the projects. Some of the highlights for the major TPA projects is the State Route 7 from 60th Street to North Lake Boulevard, and also the State Route 7 from Okeechobee Boulevard to 60th Street. There's also two others, the Tri-Rail extension to Jupiter, that was delayed, the PD&E was delayed, And the construction was delayed also on the Atlantic Avenue project. See if I can. For local initiatives, this has a goal of 100 million within the 5-year time frame, and currently has 8 projects scheduled for construction in fiscal year 21 from previous grant cycles. So you'll see all those on the fiscal year 21 construction maps that are also in the tip. Also, there's also 6 new projects funded in construction for fiscal year 24 and 25. And these are all projects that were in our previous grant cycle last year. And so they're all programmed for construction. Next is our Transportation Alternatives Program. This is another grant program. Instead of a 5-year target, this is a 3-year target of $9 million. And there's 6 projects scheduled for construction in fiscal year 22 from previous grant cycles. And there's also 4 new projects funded for construction in fiscal year 23 from the previous year grant cycle. And there's a few other projects here listed that will come up in fiscal year 21 from this program. This slide highlights the some of the construction projects that will be occurring in fiscal year 21. And some of them include some roadway resurfacing, which I have another slide of other resurfacing projects to look out for. In addition, there's roadway capacity projects. There's several here listed for widening different segments throughout the county. In addition, there's some bridge projects, including the Jupiter Inlet Bridge replacement and the Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard rehab over the FEC corridor. So this is a highlight of all of the resurfacing projects to look out for in the tip in future years. We're highlighting these projects because these are the ones to take a closer look at to see if there's opportunities to include safety or complete streets projects as part of the resurfacing. So there's actually even more than this, and they're listed in our tip document. We list them out under other projects. There's a list. Let me see where. So from the difference between the draft document that I brought forward to you last month is the maps have been completed and included in this final draft. So you can look at this 5-map series and see all of the construction projects throughout the county by year. So probably the busiest one is the fiscal year 2021 map. There's quite a lot of those. You can see where those transportation and alternative and local initiative projects are that I mentioned previously. There's also an additional appendix item for fiscal analysis that is included in this final draft tip. There's 3 sections in it. The first one is the State Comprehensive Enhanced Transportation System tax. In the tip, it's considered or can be found in the tip by District Dedicated Revenue, DDR. And so this is a state tax that's collected and distributed throughout the district, and it's spent in the county that it's collected in, is the idea. And so below are some of the numbers that indicate how much revenue and expenditures has occurred in Palm Beach County from this this particular tax. And we're doing well. We're using what we're collecting. There are 2 other components to the fiscal analysis. That's the I-95 Express Lane revenue in Palm Beach County, and that's scheduled to open in late 2023. And listed here is the ways that those revenues would be collected and spent. And lastly is the multi-use corridors for regional economic significance, or otherwise known as MCORs. if there's any questions, I can take them at this time.
Before we ask Jason questions, staff, are there any public comments on this item?
I don't have any public comments on this item, and I do have that John has his hand raised.
Okay, so, okay, John, your questions for Jason?
Not necessarily questions, or unless you're ready for comment.
Comments?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
A couple things. First, in reading the document, Jason, I believe on page 6 there was a reference to the 2020-2024 TIP. So I don't know if that needs to be updated to 2021-2025. And then also on page 175, it references that our meeting is on June 3rd. Obviously, it's June 4th, so if you can just update that accordingly. One other question is are we going to update the TIP? I know that we're going through the process right now with regards to the transportation alternatives for 2020. So that ranking is going through the process right now. Will the TIP be updated? Because obviously those projects will fall within the 5-year window.
Yeah, next year. The TIP is updated every year. And so you're talking about this round of projects. Will they be included in the TIP?
Correct. The 2020 rankings will reflect in 2023 projects, correct?
Yeah. Say that again. Ask me that question again. Sorry.
So the projects that are being reviewed this year and being ranked,
Yeah.
those would be projects that would go under construction in 2023, correct? It's 3 years out?
Yes.
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 And
Okay.
so, but they don't get programmed until next year.
Okay, I was just curious as to when
Yeah.
the TIP would have to be updated to reflect projects that are being reviewed right now, because obviously this year's projects would fall within that 5-year TIP
Right.
window.
Yeah, right. But the TIP will, once the new TIP will come out next year, you'll see those projects programmed in those years, because
Okay.
we just move annually. Even though it's 5 years, it just advances like a new 5th year. So a new year is added to the end as 1 year drops off. So even though those will be in 23, they're still within that window of those 5 years of the 5th year being added and the last year being eliminated.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to wait until next year, if there was if they were added mid-year, anything like that. So, and then obviously, you know, I think everybody knows the city's position with regards to State Road 7. You know, there's a lot of concern with regards to that. You know, there's a lot of things that are happening. So with the fact that State Road 7 is included in the TIP, we can't support it at this point. So I just kind of have to state it on the record that's kind of going to be my vote at this juncture with the way that it's drafted.
Okay, Marge, anyone else have let's see, Fatty has his hand raised.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Fatty, go ahead and speak.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to raise my hand from the computer, but I maybe do it some other time. I just have a question for project 4465511, which is kind of brought it up last time, which is the priority for freight on B-line and from Martin County to Dixie Highway. I don't see that in this current kind of, I looked for it in the attachment, couldn't find it. What is the status of that project?
Tell me that FM number again.
4465511, which is Beeline Highway from Martin County to Dixie Highway, rate priority.
Yes, Mo brought this up at the TAC meeting, and I believe we're going to request some follow-up information from FDOT because the funding for the project doesn't start. There's no initial funds on it in 2021. It's in 2022 when they'll start putting funds on it and designing it. And so I believe the TAC requested information, a follow-up meeting, a follow-up presentation from FDOT to get more clarification on it because it impacts some intersections that were significant to the county. So
Okay, great.
currently, I think we're going to get some information from DOT to further understand the project.
Okay, thanks. We appreciate that because again, it has significant impact on major intersections, and I'm glad
Yep.
that you're asking additional information.
Yes.
Any other hands raised, Margie?
I don't, oh, every time I say no. Ted has his hand raised.
Okay.
Ted, you'll need to unmute on your end.
Okay, Ted.
This is just an aside. To raise your hand with keystrokes, Alt-Y. To mute or unmute, Alt-A.
Great.
Hmm.
Okay, Margie, anybody else?
Eric, I just want to clarify on John's original question, just to clarify these projects when they'll be in the new tip that we adopt, and they'll be funded in fiscal year 24 because the new tip will be fiscal year 21, which we're entering in July, and so they'll be added into the tip but funded in 2024. So the 3 years out is 2024, and the projects that were ranked in 2019 are included in construction for 2023. So does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then for the Beeline signal project, the PE or engineering is in fiscal year 22, and construction is in fiscal year 24. I just wanted to follow up on those two questions.
Okay. Any other hands raised, Margie?
I don't have any other hands raised.
I had one question for a couple. The tri-rail that's moving out again, is that just is that going to keep moving out every year? That kind of until I guess the issue is the municipalities have to agree to maintain.
Yeah, operate and maintain.
Yeah, the issue is it's a desired project that we want to fund the capital, but their tri-rail needs the FEC to give them an easement to actually run in their property. And there also needs to be an identified funding source for operations and maintenance. So we can keep putting it there as a placeholder for the capital, which is what we could help fund. But until those other two pieces of the pie are met, we can't actually implement the project. So we keep trying to put it in there as a kind of a placeholder, but it keeps moving out because the other two issues haven't been resolved.
And then, Jason, you had a slide on the I-95 express lane revenue, and I was wondering, there were like 4 potential uses of the revenue. Do you know who decides how that revenue would actually be used? Because one of them was funding transit.
Yeah, the expressway funds, the last bullet, you could use that revenue to support express bus service. I would think that it's under the purview of the turnpike or whatever the express lanes, maybe I-95. I don't know if they have their own separate group that would collect and distribute those independently, or if it would just be FDOT. I don't know who else is on the call that might know that answer. The TPA.
Jason, you're talking about the toll revenue used to fund it?
Yeah, I-95 expressway revenue. Or yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that could help the funding that they collect from those tolls. DOT could help fund an express bus. I believe is what that means.
So Eric's question is, who collects and distributes the
Who
fund?
decides how it's distributed? Is that a TPA thing or is that a?
No, that would be the roadway owner. So for example, so it would be FDOT.
Okay.
And they have an I-95 express bus now, but it doesn't come all the way up to here. It's from, I think, Broward to Miami, maybe Boca. I'm not sure, but it's further down south where there are toll lanes.
Yeah, and I've heard it has actually pretty good ridership. It's very popular. So I don't know, maybe something we could, maybe something staff could look at is how do we, if that's something you think is good, how do we make sure that funding could be used for that and get something similar up here? So, is there any, I guess one last time, if there's any other questions for Jason, for staff? If not, we'll move on to see if there's a motion, discussion on the motion.
And just to follow up, we are working with FDOT and monitoring the tolls they are currently collecting to determine how much excess revenue they're collecting and how DOT could use that. So we are working with them and monitoring that.
Okay. So is there a motion to recommend adoption of the FY 21 through 25 tip?
I motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Michael seconded.
I had Michael Howe popped up on my screen. I just wanted to
You can
make
give
sure.
it to Michael Howe.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Oh, good. Hal and Michael Owens. Sorry,
Okay,
guys.
so just to clarify, a motion to recommend adoption of the fiscal year 21-25 tip as presented, with a motion by Ted and a second by Michael Howe.
Okay. Discussion. Who's going first? Is there any, John, do you want to add anything with the actual discussion of the motion?
Well, I think I stated previously, based upon the inclusion of State Road 7 in there, I can't support it as it's proposed. So, with a motion to approve it, I won't be able to support that motion.
Okay. Is there any discussion by anyone else? Okay, I don't see any hands physically raised, or Margie, no hands raised?
I don't have any.
Okay.
And this is a roll call vote.
Okay.
So I will unmute, and then you just would need to unmute on your end as well. So
Do
Sally,
I need to, sorry, Mark, do I need to repeat the motion again, or?
yeah, I'm going to repeat it. So I have a motion to recommend adoption of the fiscal year 21-25 tip as presented. Sally Channon. Sally, I'm showing you're unmuted on our end. I'm not sure if you're on a cell phone.
Pardon?
Oh, I can hear you now. Is that a yes or a no? I'm not sure if I'm missing it on my end, Eric, or if you heard the vote.
I couldn't hear it either.
Okay.
Can we go through everyone else and circle back to Sally? Is
Okay,
that fair?
that's fine. Eric Ferguson,
Aye.
Ted Goodenough,
Aye.
Michael Howe,
Aye.
Jean Matthews,
Aye.
Yash Nagal,
Aye.